In the solemn aftermath of Pope Francis's funeral, a constitutional moral dilemma has unfolded within the College of Cardinals, and at the centre stands Cardinal Giovanni Angelo Becciu, accused of financial crimes, convicted, stripped of rights, yet defiantly living in the Vatican in a Vatican flat and appealing against the decision, asserting his eligibility as well to vote in the papal conclave. And his case tests not only the man himself, but the strength of Vatican authority. Once among those powerful figures in Rome, Becciu served as the substitute for general affairs under Pope Benedict XVI and then Francis, effectively the Vatican's chief of staff. Elevated to cardinal in 2018, he oversaw the Congregation for the Causes of Saints, but in 2020, a financial scandal involving questionable investments that he had made in London real estate and allegations of nepotism led to his fall from grace, and Francis demanded his resignation from the rights and privileges of the cardinalate, although he retained the title cardinal. In 2023, after a marathon Vatican trial, Becciu was convicted of embezzlement, fraud, and the abuse of office. He was sentenced to 5.5 years imprisonment and barred permanently from holding public ecclesiastical office, a stunning precedent, the first cardinal ever to be convicted by the Vatican's own courts. He appealed against the verdict, but the facts of his conviction stand. Now, according to canon law and the Apostolic Constitution, Universi Dominici Gregis, cardinals who are canonically deposed or who voluntarily renounce their rights under papal authority are excluded from participating in a conclave. While Becciu technically retains the title, he is, by his own prior admission in legal filings, stripped of the rights, notably of the right to vote for the next pope. Now, 2 letters reportedly signed F by Pope Francis, one in 2023 and another shortly before Francis's final illness, have been presented to Becciu by Cardinal Pietro Parolin, and these letters explicitly bar him from entering the conclave. Thus, whatever ambiguity Becciu may have attempted to exploit is formally resolved, and the internet is literally flooded with this story. Papal authority bars his participation. That is the ruling. And the stories on the internet suggesting that Becciu is demanding to go into the conclave and that he's awaiting a decision by the dean is sort of irrelevant. These 2 letters and the formal stripping of his position make it quite clear. Becciu argues that because he never explicitly renounced in writing his right to vote, and because the Vatican's press office's lists have no legal force, he remains eligible. This is both disingenuous and legally specious. The removal of rights was public, recorded, and acknowledged by Becciu himself until his recent opportunistic reversal. And at the heart of the matter lies a greater concern: the fragility of Vatican systems without a living post. During a sede vacante, ordinary courts, tribunals, and even canonical interpretations fall into suspension, and no tribunal can easily adjudicate Becciu's challenge. It falls to the acting Camerlengo, Cardinal Kevin Farrell, and the triumvirate preparing the conclave, notably Parolin, to act. Their authority will rest not on new legislation, but on their ability to persuade the College of Cardinals that Becciu's exclusion is legitimate, necessary, and a faithful execution of Pope Francis's will. If Becciu is allowed even to approach the conclave, it risks not only scandal, but a potential invalidation of the election itself. Universi Dominici Gregis demands strict adherence to rules to ensure the legitimacy of the conclave, and the presence of an illicit elector could cast doubt on the entire process. This would be a disaster for a church already grappling with scandal, cynicism, and a fragile public trust. Furthermore, Becciu's case is a grim microcosm of a broader Franciscan failure. The Pope's admirable efforts to reform Vatican finances were not informal, personalistic, and legally messy. They were informal, personalistic, and legally messy, and therefore and were not completed. He preferred swift personal action over codified reform, leaving, as a result, unresolved ambiguities that now haunt the interregnum. In short, Becciu cannot and must not participate in the conclave. The legal framework excludes him, and the late Pope's own explicit letters confirm this, yet his intransigence forces the College of Cardinals into an early and painful test of resolve, and their ability to enforce Francis's wishes with dignity and firmness will be the first measure of their capacity to govern themselves and to choose a worthy successor. Cardinal Becciu's stubbornness may be a final gift, though unintended. It will force the Church's leaders to prove whether they have the moral seriousness and the legal clarity to begin a new chapter, or whether they will stumble at the first hurdle.